Bigfoot right now, back on the radar at a Tampa Bay park.
He died here in 1978.
So you've got Gilbert the Ghost after you.
Gilbert the Ghost, yeah, great name.
Who are you gonna call?
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Is something really out there? 3 more U.S. senators received a classified briefing about UFOs at the Pentagon.
Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Oh, it's the most scariest, terrifying thing I've seen in my life. Seen in my life. Seen in my life. Seen in my life.
Welcome to Mysteriousnesses, episode 35. Woo! Woohoo! Welcome to the show. I'm joined tonight by Hugh Carey, David the Day, and Lauren Lance.
What's up? What's up?
We got a great show for you tonight. Thanks to everybody who's watching live. There's some people in the chat. Go ahead and shout them out, David.
What we got in there?
I don't think they're actual Twitch users.
Oh, we can't tell who
they're
you are.
They're just like anonymous users.
Ooh, they're mystery people.
They're mysterious.
Oh.
I like it. I like the mystery behind it.
I like it too.
You don't know
living
who it
up
is.
to the name of the podcast.
Very voyeuristic, you know.
Sasquatch could be watching right now.
Good.
Just trying to get tips on how to avoid us. Ooh.
Ooh.
See? I told you.
There you go.
Oh man. So what's going on with you guys?
Oh, it is a good day to do a show. There's been a lot of weird stuff going on.
Absolutely.
As everyone I think has noticed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Am I the only one drinking? You
Yes.
drinking?
I'm drinking.
Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris. It was very weird.
That is
weird.
Mysterious.
It is mysterious, yeah. And she's gonna hit him in the back of the head with a hatchet. And then take over the country. Yeah.
That might actually help him
Yeah.
in many ways. It would give him a little liveliness, you know?
Yeah. Wake him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a great show coming up. Make sure, if you're just an anonymous user in Twitch, make a Twitch account and follow us. That really
it's
helps.
free.
Yeah,
it's free. We'd love to hear from you.
Also,
love
follow
to
us
interact.
on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, Mysteriousness Podcast. And also, I think we're kind of like going to go with this whole Tinfoil Tuesday thing.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it.
Hashtag Tinfoil Tuesday. And it's every second Tuesday of the month is when we're going to do Mysteriousness.
right. So yeah, you can kind of set your schedule so you can watch us live.
Put it in your calendar and save it. Because
Yeah.
we're coming to you whether you want it or not.
Yeah, it's happening. And, of course, you can always check out back episodes at somethingplanet.com, mysteriousnesses.com, and the Something Planet YouTube channel. So make sure you do that.
Yep.
Let's start off with some science news.
Oh.
This is good. I thought this was really interesting. Poop stains visible from space reveal hidden colonies of Antarctic penguins.
We're really a classy podcast, aren't we?
Yeah, well, I think this is great. Science is using poop stains from space to find hidden penguins. I think it's a new day for science. I'm excited. All of these new colonies are located in areas likely to be highly vulnerable to climate change. Okay, so this is important. All right, penguins might be good at hiding from humans, but they can't hide their poop from the giant satellites circling our planet. New imagery revealed penguin poop stains on the white blankets of the coldest continent, and those dark spots suggest that there are nearly 20% more emperor penguin colonies in Antarctica than previously thought.
What's the resolution on these satellites? If you could pick up poop stains, and what?
No, these colonies are leaving massive
stains.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
No, just think about all the birds shit in one spot and then they move on.
I mean, when a seagull craps on my car, it's like the whole thing's covered, and that's just one bird. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
So is there like a public toilet in Antarctica for all the penguins that they all just go and shit in, and they can figure out like based upon the color of the ice or some shit?
Or are they like concerned that maybe these penguins are sick?
These penguins have been eating at Taco Bell.
But when you're 50, you're supposed to get a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
So hopefully the emperor penguins have their shit together.
So this is both good and bad news, as all of these new colonies are located in areas likely to be highly vulnerable to climate change, according to the study published on August 4th in the Journal of Remote Sensing in Ecology and Conservation.
That's a very specific journal.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
They probably have just as many subscribers to that as we do to this podcast.
Oh, you're a remote sensing and ecology nerd too?
Yeah.
Whoa, dude.
It's not easy to count just how many emperor penguins live on Antarctica, as the animals typically breed in very frigid, remote, and difficult-to-reach places. To get around this for the past decade, scientists with the British Antarctic Survey have been searching for penguins indirectly by looking for poop stains in satellite imagery.
To be fair, remote sensing sounds like something that we'd talk about on the show.
Yeah, it's like a psychic ability or something.
Yeah, it reminds you of remote viewing.
Yeah, that's it.
What if that's what you saw when you did like remote viewings? Like
It's just
nothing
poop.
but like penguin shit.
You only have the ability to show up in someone's underwear. You can only view inside of the tidy whities.
Oh.
But it's not remote smelling, so
No,
you're okay.
yeah.
You're just seeing it.
Visually unpleasant.
Yeah. Are
So,
we having any issues? Because I feel like this is not live on my phone. Maybe
No,
it is. We good?
Yeah, we should be good.
Streaming's going
Don't
good.
listen to me.
So the new study scientists analyzed images taken in 2016 and 2018 and 2019 by the European Space Agency's Copernicus satellite
Cornucopias?
Sentinel-2 satellites. They reviewed the images for brown pixels, which represent guano stains.
Yep.
Somebody there just has a shit fetish,
Yeah.
and they're using
Yeah.
this as an excuse.
So the images revealed 8 new emperor penguin colonies and confirmed the existence of 3 others previously identified, bringing the continent's total to 61 colonies.
So they
But-
really just do all poop in the same spot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they work it out. I think they just all are standing in the same spot, and then they don't worry about where they shit. 'Cause they're
Oh,
birds.
that's true. They're always
Yeah.
huddled together.
Must be so freeing. Must be a nice way to live.
Just stand around and just drop one.
I mean, you can try it, Lauren.
But you know, I'm.
Well, let's see if we can get NASA to see a poop stain from Clearwater. Let's start, instead of like everybody raid Area 51, everyone take a dump outside Area 51 and see if they can see it.
I think
So,
it's worth trying.
You guys can check this out in the show notes when we have the audio podcast up. But
If you're interested in that kind of thing.
yeah, it just basically shows like some satellite poop stains. You know, I would Chromecast it to you, Hugh, but we're having some technical difficulties with that right now.
I feel like I'm getting a good visual in my head. Though.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like I've got a roundabout image of what it probably looks like.
Yeah.
So next thing we wanted to talk about in UFO news, there's been some exciting stuff. The New York Times has been reporting that well, what was the quote that they actually have off-world materials from a crash
So
site?
technically, there was in the article on the New York Times, there was a contractor that used to work for the Pentagon. So it's not necessarily the Pentagon per se.
Okay.
But the contractor that worked there said that they are in possession of quote-unquote off-world materials that are not of this Earth, or that are not of Earth. So I don't know how you can be any more vague with your definition of alien spacecraft. And what the fuck else could it be?
What was the question that he answered that? What was that he had that response to?
I don't remember the exact the response to that, but I think they were just interviewing this guy in reference to the footage that that the commander or the pilot on one of the Navy ships had, I guess, taken and had come out and was made public. And then they were looking into all this stuff, and I think what's happening is the Pentagon is actually getting ready to release official information pertaining to what that means. So I don't know if this is like they're throwing this out ahead of the game to kind of just get everybody ready or lubed up.
Right.
I don't know if this is like, I don't know, is it disclosure? Are they admitting to this? Does it really mean that we have UFOs and aliens? I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, there were some people on my Facebook feed, like when the whole pandemic started, and then they released this, which it had come out, I think, 8 months prior, actually. But it had a resurgence because everyone was looking for something interesting to look at during
the video footage of the little tic-tac looking
So which was going like 500 knots into 100 knot headwind or something like that. So
it's like
going pretty
physically
fast.
impossible for our current state of engineering expertise to achieve that level of like velocity or whatever the fuck.
This is just confirming a lot of what has been said for 30, 40 years too. Like all these eyewitness accounts. Now we actually have like the videos, and they're like confirmed from like a fighter jet.
Right.
Following it, it's like, okay, these things are real, The quote about the off-world materials from former Senator Reid. He was the Democratic senator from Nevada.
Was it from Harry Reid?
Yeah, he was. He pushed for funding in the earlier UFO program when he was the majority leader. He said, after looking into this,
back in the good old days.
I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some were substantive, some not so substantive, that there were actual materials that the government and the private sector had in their possession.
Right, but isn't there... I think he heard that information from another party, though.
Yeah, he
was
did.
from another person.
Yeah, I'm looking for...
It's not like he actually saw anything himself.
So Eric W. Davis, an astrophysicist who worked as a subcontractor and then a consultant for the Pentagon UFO program since 2007, said that in some cases, examination of the materials had so far failed to determine their source and led him to conclude we couldn't make it ourselves.
Interesting.
So they're studying this stuff, and they're like, yeah, but like we don't know of any country that can make this. We can't make it. So,
right.
Like the obvious conclusion is who made it.
Well, I think the obvious conclusion is we're seeing all these sightings because the aliens found out that Chico's and Pier 1 is going out of business, and they just wanted to come here and snag up a good deal.
75% off.
Say what you want about Chico's, but it's not just form and fashion, it's utility.
I'm going to get a wooden elephant sculpture from Pier 1 Imports.
I'm going to get a hand-woven rug, a dress with pockets, and bath salts, okay? That's what the aliens are coming here for, okay?
That's Earth's
Aliens
number
need
one
a nice
export.
chaise lounge.
Yeah, chaise lounge. I don't think your mic's on.
Is it not? Is my mic not on?
Hearing it.
I don't hear it, Lauren.
Uh-oh.
It's a mystery.
No, it's plugged in.
Is it? Is it?
There you go.
There you go.
Was I doing something weird? I don't know.
What were you saying?
Well, I said that bath salts is Earth's number one export. I mean, that's
Yeah.
not really worth.
Well, where do you think they get it from? Behind the Chicos.
Exactly, from the Chicos.
The homeless gentleman behind there.
Like, were they specifically saying that these were materials found at crash sites, or that they just have materials in their possessions?
Well, the guy said off-world vehicles. If you scroll up, John, where is that?
Yeah,
quote?
so to me that sounds like more than just fragments of something. It sounds like large, like an actual full intact kind of thing. Or that they put it back together if there was something that crashed.
So he works for Aerospace Corporation, a defense contractor.
Very generic name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are like the Illuminati. Let's just go ahead and say it. He works for the Illuminati.
Gas company, Aerospace Corporation,
The USDA.
Computer store.
The business factory.
Yeah, business factory.
He gave a classified briefing to a Defense Department agency as recently as March about retrievals from off-world vehicles not made on this Earth.
Wow, that's the quote. Off-world vehicles not.
So that's the big quote. So I guess the question is, do you guys think that disclosure is happening like within like this year or early next year?
I would say so.
Is that what they're getting ready to do? They just release these a little bit at a time?
Well, if Trump wants to get reelected, now's the perfect time to do it.
Well, I see. Here's the thing, though. Disclosure doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to learn about aliens.
And it doesn't necessarily mean I'm voting for your ass because you told me that aliens are real either. I'm like, straight up with you on that one.
Disclosure could just be like, hey, we don't fucking know either.
Yeah.
You know, like that could be...
works.
I mean, the whole, the like, we've always assumed for all these years that the government has been covering up the existence of extraterrestrials and UFOs coming to this Earth and abductions and stuff like that. But what if they were just pretending to cover it up so they didn't look like they were so stupid that they had no idea where these craft were coming from and that they had no idea, like people...
But that would mean that they're smart enough to do
How many
that.
thousands of people every year like report being like abducted by like some sort of entity that we don't know?
You know who claimed was abducted by aliens, a famous person?
Who?
Fran Drescher. Could you imagine? Out of all the fucking people...
Oh my god!
Mr. Sheffield! Oh my goodness! Then fucking Nanny. Come on.
I was beamed up.
They probed me.
I was
loved every
outside
minute
of the
of it.
deli in Queens Astoria. I was minding my own fucking business, and all of a sudden I had a fucking probe in my ass. I don't know what the hell is going on here. That was a terrible impersonation of Fran Drescher, but y'all get the point. The nanny has been abducted by aliens.
Definitely.
Wow.
So.
Well, yeah, definitely.
And Mr. Sheffield seemed to be okay with it. I don't know. What is your take on conspiratorial shit? Or do you believe in aliens? Do you entertain the idea, David?
Well, I think it's
a skeptic.
I'm very skeptic.
Yes.
Whenever we did this segment before, when it was part of Something Planet, I was a resident skeptic. But I will say, I think it's very arrogant to think that we're the only life in the whole universe. It's
right.
Whether or not there are aliens here, I have no idea. I'm a seeing is believing type of person.
How much do you have faith in the government at the moment that if they came out tomorrow and straight up said, yo, we got aliens, they're off the chain, they got this cool shit, how much would you believe in the fact that the government is actually telling you the truth.
Well,
because there's a lot of disinformation that comes from our government constantly.
Right,
so
right.
how do we know for sure? And I'm just playing devil's advocate to the whole concept.
Of course.
Well, it's not going to be until, what is the thing they always say? When a
Take me to your leader.
UFO lands
The
on the
September
White House
surprise.
lawn.
Yeah. Yeah. But even if that happens, I say it all the time. It's like half of the country is going to believe it, and the other half is going to be like, that's fake news. It's Hillary Clinton and George Soros.
Right.
Antifa is trying to take over the White House. Like, that's what they'll
Can't
say.
be UFOs because God said that there wasn't, or something like that.
Yeah, I think if they presented it and there was evidence that could be backed up by actual scientists and people that work in, the astrophysics field, and like the defense contractors, and are like, yeah, we've never seen anything like this. Okay.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, yeah, we got aliens, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I've seen the movie Mars Attacks, and that pretty much sold me right then on the spot. Right. So it didn't take much for me.
Or you have one of these doctors come forward that believe in demon sex and everything, and they're like, "Hey, we got aliens." Then maybe I'm a little skeptical.
I mean, she might be on to something.
I don't know.
We should have her on the podcast. Let's get her on as a guest.
That lady did say that that we're currently using alien technology.
Alien DNA, yep.
Alien DNA in our
the
medicine.
vaccines, right?
Okay, so they do make those dildos shaped like alien
with
penises
the-
with eggs.
eggs.
Maybe she got confused one night. She took too much hydroxychloroquine, got a little fucked up, did a little Amazon shopping, and then woke up with alien eggs in her snatch. I don't know. It's possible. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
It happens. I'm being too loud. David's have to dial me down a notch over
We're
here.
getting a little bit excited about this.
Yeah, we're talking about alien eggs
egg
inserting.
implanting.
Yes. What do you guys think in the chat? Is there anybody listening that has any opinions on this idea? Do you believe in aliens? Is it bullshit? Is it real?
Yeah.
Do you like to be implanted with alien eggs?
Yeah,
we actually have some Twitch users in here now.
Okay.
Not Corporal and Pathmade. If you guys have any.
Oh, Pathmade, that's Tom.
Oh,
so
Tom,
he
okay.
will not. He's just gonna lurk.
Okay, that's fine. If anyone has any comments, please.
And
please let us
share
know.
with us
Share
your
with us.
personal hot takes.
All right, moving on to the disturbing history of Wyoming UFO sightings.
Okay.
Ooh,
I
disturbing
thought it
Wyoming.
was just Wyoming is disturbing in and of itself.
I don't even know where it is, honestly. Like, couldn't point it out on
It's
a
in
map.
Europe, I think.
I think it's somewhere. It's in Canada, I'm pretty sure. Wyoming has its fair share of UFO sightings. It would make sense since folks can see so much of the sky out here. There is also an area where military aircraft practice and optical illusions are common. But now and then there is the unexplained.
Ooh.
There's a list of sightings from Wyoming that you can see from the National UFO Reporting Site. The list is long and goes all the way back to the early 1950s. Many of these sightings are easily explained, but some are not. Below are a few more of the notable events, past and present. The National UFO Reporting Center lists 13 sightings in Wyoming in 2018 alone. They include the following.
So literally everybody in Wyoming has seen something. Because that's about the maximum population of
it's like
Wyoming.
14 people. So there's multicolored lights forming over Cheyenne.
Okay.
Let's see. This says 2 rows of multicolored lights observed over northern Cheyenne. Lights were consistently lit. My son and I thought we were seeing the lights on airplane wings. However, we never saw them move, flash, or change angle as it would be the case in any moving plane. Never heard a noise. The lights were too many to be from a normal aircraft and varied in color. As my son and I were watching them, they just disappeared, turned off as if someone had just flipped a switch. We could not see a body of an aircraft or hear anything.
That's a very common, like, a lot of bright lights in the sky.
Yeah, just like bright
And then they
lights
just
that
go
don't
away.
make any noise. Yeah. That could be lots of stuff, That could be opening up the Stargate to Mars or something, and maybe that's just a side effect. I don't know.
I mean, I would stick that bitch right in Wyoming because no one is going to question that.
Yeah.
Who's going to see it? That's the perfect place to do all kinds of crazy conspiratorial
It's super
stuff.
weird that article mentions that optical illusions are common in Wyoming.
Yeah, what's that
What
about?
was that about? That was weird as fuck. And I looked it up. If you look up optical illusions Wyoming, there's like Yelp reviews and like a couple like
What is it, like an in-person magic eye?
Yeah,
in Wyoming, like if you cross your eyes just a little bit, you can see an alien.
yeah. Like what the hell? Like that's a weird thing for a state to be known for.
I mean,
Optical
the only thing I know Wyoming for other than this now is Brokeback Mountain. I mean, that's it.
Is that where
that's pretty much it.
The greatest optical illusion of all?
That was Wyoming, right? I'm pretty
think
sure.
so.
How do I quit you?
I wish I
So
could
this
quit
one,
you.
this one is from. This is Nuck Fork. This isn't MUFON.
What?
This is like another.
Whoa, what'd you call me?
Are you even allowed to say that on Twitch?
Actually not. Oh, I did want to tell you guys, I saw on TikTok somebody in Florida that I guess does UFO research for MUFON.
The MUFON car?
Yeah, the MUFON car. It's like a squad car.
I
that
want
they
to have
painted
him
to
on the
look like
show.
A police. It looks like a police squad car, but it says like UFO squad or something.
No, and on the side
I want
it says,
to live in this car.
it says on the side, doing the Air Force's job since 1969.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they're throwing shade in that Dodge Charger.
I like how sassy it is.
And somebody on Instagram, because he'll share posts that people tag him in, and the one guy's like, "This dude's got face tats." It's like, yeah, that's who I look for when I'm looking for a legitimate UFO researcher. You have to have at least 6 face tattoos, 2 of which better be teardrops, because I need to know you killed somebody.
I don't think he can get hired anywhere but MUFON.
Yeah, in fact, he's an independent contractor. They didn't even hire him. He just put that shit on his car.
It's 2 tiers and then a little UFO saucer.
Oh my God,
Ooh, that's cute.
How Post Malone of him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's another one. I'll just do one more. This is a white sphere in the sky over southern Glen Rock. Just past sundown, I observed a very bright white light in the same area of the western sky as normal Venus, but it was far too high. Are you sure you weren't looking at the sun? No.
Normal Venus as opposed to weird Venus.
Yeah. Upon checking with binoculars,
Was
it
it
was
Mons
a
Venus?
spherical object, white in color with dark markings in the middle. It almost looked like a miniature version of the full moon. However, the moon was crescent and visible near the horizon. The object moved slowly from west-east across southern sky before eventually disappearing. Object had intermittent bright white lights blinking on body. Speed was very slow, not a normal aircraft or satellite
Balloon?
speed.
That could be a balloon.
It's a
one of those
dirigible.
One of those Chinese.
I
like,
have seen
lantern
those.
balloons.
Lanterns. Those have got me a couple times where I'm like, "What's that?" And
You
I'm
get
like,
that sinking
Yes,
feeling in
I'm
your
like,
chest, like, oh shit!
It's happening! It's happening! And then it's like, oh no, some fucking Karen made a wish.
It's just a shitty prayer.
Yeah.
She's probably got cancer.
Yes. Yeah. Let Grandma live another year, please.
Let's jump right into cryptozoology news and check out the
Ooh.
Bardin Booger.
Ooh.
Hugh's been wanting to talk about this for a while.
You know, I just really wanted to say Bardin Booger like several times on the podcast, but I can't see the screen, so you get to do the honors, John.
I know. I get to do all the reading.
Has there been a sighting recently?
Not lately.
Okay.
But it is a thing.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
There is one website that talks about it, which means it's real. We did literally 3 minutes of research on the Bardin Booger, and it's peer-reviewed, and, because we're saying it's true.
It checks out.
Okay.
Right.
So the purported existence of the animal is generally proven by blurry, apparently faked photographs. Occasionally, scientific explanations are dispatched to distant places in a vain attempt to demonstrate the existence of the creatures. So the Bardin Booger is basically like Bigfoot, but it got a different nickname back in the day.
He's like Bigfoot's, like, semi-retarded cousin.
Yeah.
This picture looks like it's from the first edition of Dungeons and Dragons Monster Man.
It's
It
not even
really
that good.
does.
Is it the little, the illustration of him?
Yes.
Yes.
Which website are you on? I'm trying to, like...
I'm on the
This is fandom.
cryptozoology fandom.
Okay, yeah. So but the actual story of it's kind of funny if you go down and read about the sightings.
Yeah, in 1922, when reports of a possible living plesiosaurus, like this is part of the Bardin Booger story, is a plesiosaurus.
I'm shocked that
Why
people in this part of Florida even knew what the fuck a plesiosaurus was in 1922.
Probably the Nessie thing was.
I know what a
Big back then.
plesiosaurus is.
We do know how to
Yeah.
plesiosaurus,
Plesiosaurus.
girl. Bump them mics.
Let's see.
COVID.
That is not sanitary. You guys cannot bump.
So
mics.
from 1950 through the 1970s, there was a spate of sightings of skunk apes and other monsters in the swamps and woods of Florida, St. John's, and Putnam's counties were certainly not immune from such reports. In 1984-85, a skunk ape was reportedly spotted near Kings Estate Road and the Florida East Coast tracks. But like many similar reports, it could not be verified. The story was third-hand. Well, that's not even second-hand.
My Mima and Pawpaw said they saw something, the neighbor told them about it.
Another skunk ape was spotted in the marsh near Villano Beach in May 2000 by 3 fishermen. The ape was described as a real hairy ape man about 5 feet tall who smelled like skunk. In most instances, however, the reports described a stinky, hairy, green-eyed, 8-foot-tall man-like creature.
Are we sure this isn't just some redneck that hasn't showered in like 6 weeks?
Yeah.
It's covered in mud.
I mean, this is in the 20s, so they probably didn't even have like running water in that area.
That's true.
A typical report was a 1975 report of a skunk ape seen in the Orlando area apartment parking lot.
I've seen a couple of those.
You can catch a skunk ape pretty much every night at the Waffle House.
Right next to the travel lodge.
Yep.
Another 1975 sighting was included with a police report from Dade County. Dade County Public Safety Department miscellaneous report, I'm not going to read the number, reported by Ronald Bennett, 46, white male. Gives his address. I don't know why they printed that in the story.
They're doxing him.
Suspicious intent.
The cabal is after him.
Suspicious intent at Black Point Colds Canal, 12 a.m., March 24th, 1975. Police were dispatched at 2:26 a.m. and arrived at 2:31 a.m. That's a pretty good response
Those
time.
are meth smoking hours usually.
Yeah, that is the prime meth smoking hours. The report stated that the above time, date, and location of his son Michael Bennett and a friend Lawrence Groom.
Oh, there's a Lauren for a second. I was like, hey.
I was like, that's what I've been
What were
doing.
you doing over there?
That's where I've been.
While driving down a dirt road towards Black Point near the water dike, they observed what appeared to be an upright, standing, giant ape-like man, approximately 8 to 9 feet tall and very heavy-set, black in color with no clothes, standing next to a blue Chevy and rocking the car back and forth with great force. The witness further stated they observed a man getting out of the vehicle in a hysterical manner and yelling for help.
Yeah, this sounds like a case of mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Somebody was getting a little freaky in their truck
with a bear. That sounds like a bear.
Somebody has a penchant for the bear look and didn't want to get busted and said, "Oh no, I was being accosted by the Bardin Booger."
The witness further stated they observed a man getting out of the vehicle. You know, we already said that. When the lights of the vehicle that the witnesses were in lit up, the ape man turned and went into the mangroves. The witnesses stated...
The plot thickens.
Gets deeper.
The witness stated they could hear the thing running through the mangroves. At this time, the witness's vehicle was turned around and leaving the area.
What's that address again? I'm going to need to write this down. Mangroves.
So they didn't see where the car that was being shook went. So that's...
I love that there are sub-facets of Sasquatch and Bigfoot.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's local, regional information in reference to Bigfoot. Like, is there one? Has the mayor of Palm Harbor been updated on the latest findings in reference to our local cryptozoology?
I don't know of any around Palm Harbor.
Wow, that's way to be big government. I thought Palm Harbor was, real solutions, real people.
It is real solutions.
I thought there was going to be transparency in your administration.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, Palm Harbor's full of a bunch of rich white people. They just stay inside.
They don't care about the skunk ape.
Yeah, they don't care about this.
Yeah, but when you drink
That's a
3
shame.
boxes of wine and you're
That
all
is
out of
true.
Housewives to watch,
You
go
got
outside,
questions.
you're out front smoking that Virginia Slim at 3:30 in the morning because your husband just beat you, you might see some crazy shit, okay? You might see some crazy
Well,
shit.
usually it's like people of color. That's usually what they see, and they call the cops.
What?
In Palm Harbor.
I can see that because Palm Harbor is definitely full of racists.
Yes, it is.
So there was in 1978, the St. Petersburg Independent reported that the skunk apes... a Florida legislator introduced a bill giving it a protected species status. I don't think that went into law.
That didn't seem to pass the state legislature.
I've actually met this guy here.
The mayor of Palm Harbor will make it law.
Oh, good.
The largest numbers of reports have come from David Shealy, who ran the Florida Panther gift shop, a campground, and the Skunk Ape Research Center on US 41 in Okeechobee.
I smell a field trip.
Is that
I want to go there.
Yeah, I went there.
Where is it
I've
at?
been there a couple times. I've met this guy.
Oh,
I
is he
think
cute?
it finally closed down, though.
Aww.
Is he cute?
Is he cute? No.
Yeah.
He actually looks kind of like a Sasquatch.
Tiger King?
Oh.
Is that the place where they say they have some of his hair?
Yeah.
And
that's
it's
the
like in a
place.
glass case?
Mm-hmm. I've
Okay.
been there. I saw the hair.
Field trip.
I want to go.
I wanna go.
Let's go.
I've been before. You can actually pay. I think it's like
Yeah, look it up.
$300. They'll take you on an airboat.
For $300, I better get a blowjob from the Bardin
No,
Booger.
you gotta go find the Bardin Booger, the skunk ape.
He better pick some boogers out of my nose for $300.
Ooh. That's fun. I'm excited.
Lauren's
about
like, I'll
that.
pay $400 for
Yeah.
that, baby.
Take my money.
Do you guys take traveler's checks? I have a few negotiable instruments in my purse.
It looks like they're still open.
Nice.
Does it? Okay. Oh, that's good. I'm glad they're still open.
Has anybody in the chat room ventured to those parts of Florida and want to admit it to the general public?
What's the official skunk ape headquarters doing during the era of COVID though?
Yeah, that's the question.
Sneezing in each other's faces.
Something tells me by looking at this site, they're not concerned.
Is this like a GeoCities website?
No, it's actually put together really well.
Oh, that's way better than the last time I've looked up the website.
Yeah, the website's really put together. Well, when you're charging $400 for a trip, I guess you can afford it. No, it's actually, to get in to actual headquarters, it's only $15 for adults. $8 for children.
It used to be free.
Yeah, well, times are tough.
Times are tough. Loving
in the age of COVID.
I bet we can find a way to get in.
They gotta
for
pay.
free.
They gotta pay whoever made this website.
Yeah, it's a nice website. Oh, they got a gift shop, of course.
Ooh, oh man.
I want to know what are the accessories that they sell.
They got a really cool tin coffee cup that I want.
Under gift shop, they only have one drop down. Alligator products.
Yeah, because that's the only thing that's fucking out there that they can actually make proof
That's
of.
clever.
They are already capitalizing on COVID-19. It's the skunk ape on a bumper sticker that says "Social Distancing Champion."
That's clever.
It's only $4.95 for this decal. John, I'm gonna get this for you.
We should get it. I want a face mask with the skunk ape's butthole right over my mouth.
Couldn't that be just like any butthole? Really?
Can
It
I
really
just
could.
live my?
It really could.
Why do you got to ruin my fantasy, Lauren?
I'm just trying to make this like easier.
I want it to be extra skunky and apey though.
Photoshop more hair on.
All right, Illinois man.
John's like, we're not going there.
Yeah, we need to get away from this. Illinois man recounts sighting of a winged creature with the body of a large man. He saw it while hunting. 79-year-old Gerard Turisi contacted the Singular Freudian Society recently to recount an experience he'd had with a
What was the name of this? Freudian?
The Fortean.
Oh, I was to say, wow, they're really mixing up some shit
I think
here.
it's, what is it, Charles Fort was like a paranormal and weird researcher or something like that. I forget what Lauren knows more about it than me.
The Fortean Times? What are you talking? Yeah, that used to be an ongoing like publication.
I think
that
it
was
still
just,
is.
like, paranormal shit. Yeah.
But it's isn't the founder like Charles Fort or something like that?
Now that I can't speak to.
Let's see.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
He recounted an experience he had with a weird winged creature in Illinois during the winter of 1957. So I'm bringing this up because we've been the past few episodes we've been talking about Mothman sightings in Chicago.
Oh, I love Mothman.
And where is this one located?
Illinois.
Oop! Get out of Illinois. Bye.
Yeah. I realize the story is a little late, but I never knew who to tell my story to until I came across your article about the man who saw a Birdman at O'Hare Airport. I'm 79 years old now, and this happened.
Are we talking about the rapper or the creature that is
Birdman?
Gator boots with the pimped out Gucci suits.
It was around 1957 when I was with my late brother Gene and his late brother-in-law. Like once you're 79, everybody's late.
I feel like the name Gene goes well with this story.
Yeah.
They were hunting in Braidwood, Illinois area for pheasants and rabbits. As we were walking in this large open field, there was a lone large tree standing in the middle of the field. When we were directly under it, a huge man-sized creature sailed over our heads into the woods across the road. We were stunned. We just looked at each other, too dumbfounded to speak.
Gene, what the hell was that?
Isn't that the opening scene to Jeepers Creepers?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Are we being punked?
Yeah.
Investigator Tobias Wayland wrote back to the man and asked for any additional details he could remember. I was a young teenager at the time, and it was early winter time. It was mid-morning. The winged creature had the body of a large man with legs, but it was covered over the whole body with dark tan-colored feathers. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Tan.
This happened so long ago, I don't recall what the face looked like. I'm glad to tell this story to someone who has knowledge of such creatures before I die. When asked if he'd had any other paranormal experiences either before or since his sighting, he said that he'd had an encounter at a U.S. Army station at Nike Hercules missile site in Northfield, Illinois in 1963. I was on guard duty at the time on a radar station, he said. It was after midnight when I witnessed a UFO in the sky southeast of my location, maybe a mile away, around 1,000 feet above the terrain. I watched it for a few minutes before I made a phone call to our command officers in Arlington, Illinois, to report what I was observing. I was contacted a few days later by Dr. J. Allen Hynek. The report is documented in Project Blue Book. Dr. Hynek had told me he was informed...
That is a true legitimate thing, Project Blue Book, which is when the Air Force was investigating UFOs back, was it the 40s or the 50s, like right after World War II?
Yeah.
Isn't there another project, like the hologram project?
Project Blue Beam.
Blue Beam, okay.
Wow, I can't believe I just microfished that right out of my brain.
Right out of your ass.
So yeah, I'm just saying this because there's been a huge rash of Mothman sightings in Illinois.
Yeah, I've never really been into the Mothman like conspiracy stuff as much, but I know you're into it, Lauren.
I don't know if that sounds like Mothman to me, to be fair.
Is it Mothwoman?
No, because it had feathers. But I mean, maybe maybe it could have been fur.
But it was like tan feathers. He didn't mention the red eyes, and the red eyes are kind of like important.
Well, most people do not see it during the daytime. Most people see it at night.
Also, there's that, and I feel like Mothman is specifically connected to the night. Like, I don't know. This creature just doesn't sound like Mothman. It sounds like another winged...
It's bird person from Rick and Morty.
Bird person. I think
Man,
Illinois
bear, pig
is
with
safe.
wings.
Yeah. I think Illinois is safe. Like, I wouldn't get out of there yet. That doesn't seem like Mothman to me.
Well, fuck Illinois anyways, just because. How about that?
And he wasn't... Yeah, well, I mean, there is that. I mean, he didn't feel bad afterwards either. Like, every other Mothman sighting, like, the person who sees him is, like,
there's usually
there's like an earthquake or some crazy catastrophic event.
People just report feeling like shit.
They feel bad,
Or, like,
physically and emotionally bad.
Well, then that means there's a Mothman living, like, within 5 feet of me at all times.
Oh, yeah, there's one in my closet for sure.
Yeah, the Mothman...
There's one in my pocket.
The Mothman symptoms sound a lot like clinical depression.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
With some schizophrenic traits.
A little skits.
A little skitsy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that's Mothman because there's no depression, there's no skits, there's no big red eyes. There was also like weird time distortion stuff that I've seen in a lot of Mothman stories. It seems too...
Maybe it was Mothball Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Mothball Man?
The story just seems...
The story of a pissed-off dry cleaner seeking vengeance in the woods of pheasant hunters.
Jaded I am as like looking into this sort of shit is like that story seems too normal to me. To be
Yeah, it is a little mundane.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I saw a dude with feathers and wings. All right, cool, man.
I mean, if you saw a person with wings fly over your head, you would never stop talking about it, Lauren.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't talk about it. I'm saying that it's not Mothman. That's all I'm saying. Oh, I would never stop.
Get Gene on the phone.
Yeah,
we need details.
Jane.
I think Gene's dead.
Come on, Jane.
Now, if Gene's dead and died mysteriously, now we've got a
we need to
conversation
get
about
Rain
Mothman.
on here to channel Gene.
Yeah.
For further questioning.
There we go.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, check out our previous episode with about mediumship, where we brought Rain into
psychic medium Rain.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit. Moving on to the bizarre phenomenon of static entities.
Ooh,
this is creepy.
This was interesting.
This is really creepy to me.
I'm excited about
this. The world
this
of the paranormal sometimes takes a steep turnoff to the edge of the weird, offering up new phenomena that do not have any real category. One of these must surely be a collection of accounts linked to a phenomena I have only recently become aware of. It all revolves around tenuous, flickering beings that seem to be made purely of white noise or static, and which seem to pop into this reality to scare and confuse. Here we will look at a selection of reports.
Is it the 1-800-ASK Gary lady? Are you scared and confused? Call 1-800-ASK Gary.
Let's see. They're basically called static humanoids. In many cases, these beings seem to be particularly witnessed by children, and then according to the very little research I've found on these strange entities, they seem to almost be drawn to the young.
Oh, so it's Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Jeffrey Epstein's goons are being sent in to steal these children in the middle of the night.
I wish her well.
Take them to Little St. James and have their way with them. Maybe they're there to suck out the adrenochrome.
Full circle.
We're coming back. Listen,
Figured it out.
I don't even need the red string to connect these dots. No. It's all happening live in person here on Mysteriousnesses.
This is why you watch on Twitch.
I'm just gonna say this. If I had a bottle of adrenochrome in front of me right now, I wouldn't push it away.
I'd drink it.
Because
maybe all your hair will grow back.
Dating at 34 years old in the gay community, I'll take whatever help I can get, okay? I will drain a child live on this podcast if it will get rid of these bags under my eyes.
Whoa, terms of service. If
there's anybody here that wants to donate their child.
For the bags under the eyes, I got these Korean beauty masks. I'll let you try them after the show.
Sick, John.
They've been working
Sick.
Wow.
They've been working for me.
Those Koreans are into some weird things.
That's
I'm not putting that on my
mysterious right
eyes.
there.
I'm pretty sure they have adrenochrome in them.
Adrenochrome or bust.
So these entities are most often seen by young children, usually from the ages of 3 to 8, or seen in the proximity of children. One story I found is that a mother who saw one of these beings watching her infant son in a crib. Another tells of a young boy who went missing in the woods for several days after he followed the Fuzzy Man. He was eventually found alive and in perfect condition despite having been in the woods for several days.
Was he in the mangroves?
This came as a surprise to everyone who found him. The precise nature of their relationship with children is still unclear, but it continues to appear in these cases. Such cases seem to pervade the phenomenon as a whole, and another is from a Reddit poster called Nemora 2018, who says this happened when she was 8 years old. She says that at the time she was in her own home and sitting in a lounge at the end of the hallway. Although she doesn't remember exactly what she had been doing in that lounge, she certainly remembers the strange experience. She said, all of a sudden, I had a really powerful urge to look at the end of the hallway. We had recently brought a coat stand from a boot sale. Sorry, that's bought, not brought. The person just wrote it wrong. From a boot sale, and this was, what's a boot sale? Is that like a yard sale?
This sounds European because they use the word lounge at the end of the hallway.
And boot sale?
Yeah, is it like a yard sale?
Like the
trunk of a car?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, that even makes it more weird, though.
Yeah, that's really sketchy.
It's English?
No, how do you get a coat stand in the back of a car?
Yeah.
Maybe you gotta
Tiny little European car.
Maybe it's one of those.
It's like
extendable ones.
You got to put it together.
It's the IKEA stand.
It's telescoping.
Let's see. This was in the coat rack was in the middle of the hallway now. As I stood there, I saw a human outline, but entirely filled with TV-like static.
Ooh.
I remember little bits of yellow and blue in it, but it was mainly white, and it came out of the bedroom on the left and was running in a running stance, but it was really weird because it was in slow motion, and it ran from the left to the back door on the right. As it ran, it grabbed the coat stand and pulled it down with it, and it fell to the floor. It was just standing there after in shock. I was just standing there in shock after and so scared. I ran to my sister and told her what had happened, and when we went back to the hallway, the stand was still on the floor. That was the only time I saw it. I don't know why I saw it or why it pulled the stand down, but it was just all surreal. I did have some other experiences in that house that were paranormal, so maybe it was connected.
I just like the idea of some random-ass paranormal entity walking by and be like, fuck this coat stand!
You should have gotten a Pier 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a rival.
There you are.
They're having good deals. They're going out of business, y'all. Do not Pier 1 shame me.
This episode is brought to you by Pier 1.
So here's
this episode brought to you by Pier 2.
Pier 2 Imports. That's where we're starting. There's another similar case from Joshy Bear.
Sounds legit.
Yeah, again, it happens in the confines of his home.
Well, there was another user on here. His name is Weave Daddy 69.
Yeah, I didn't want to read that one.
If you can't achieve it, weave it.
Yeah.
So this is him going into his parents' room. When I walked into their room, no door, so I guess they had no door on the room, I saw on the other side, that's sad when your parents don't have a door on the bedroom. It's like they're not banging at all.
I mean,
or they are. They're just fucking disgusting.
And that's what the kid did. He just went into his static world to block it out
that
of his
was
memory.
a childhood trauma.
Yeah, this is just a disassociative state.
Yeah.
This is sad.
So he said I saw on the other side of their bed a huge humanoid shape that looked like it was made of static from a TV, except the white was purple and kind of like when you rub your eyes through your eyelids. I immediately just laid down and went to sleep right there and woke up there in the morning. Don't think I ever told anyone about it until years later. I was 3 or 4, so it's possible my imagination just went nuts.
Yeah, so can anybody in this room remember anything from when they were 3 or 4?
Yeah.
I can remember a couple.
I can remember when I was 2 or 3, actually.
So if I walked into my parents' fucking, I'd probably...
You probably just...
I would want to forget it, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's okay, my thought on this whole thing is, like, okay, if you're, like, watching something for a long time and you're kind of staring at it and you're, like, in a daze and you look somewhere else, you can kind of see the imprint of what it is you're looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if, like, that first story, the girl was running down the hallway and she happened to be looking at like static or something, and she or was rubbing her eyes, and then applied that to someone in the hallway and thought that it was a static entity.
Maybe, yeah.
But how did the stand get thrown over?
Because apparently her sister's got a problem with the coat stand. I mean, obviously.
I've seen static recently, but it wasn't in the shape of a human. I was staying. This is weird. I was staying. Where was I? It was for a video shoot that I was doing. We did it at an Airbnb, and we stayed there the night because the next morning we were filming early. And in the room, it was really dark, but there was like a bit of a moonlight or something coming in the window. And when I would look in a certain direction, it was like static. It looked like a TV static.
The moon did, or
no, the room, just the room in general, like my whole field of vision. It's very strange. But
how much mushrooms were you on at the time?
Then no drugs involved.
It's funny that you say that because the next story, the person described pretty much just exactly that. He would see this like static vision over things.
Yeah, but I think that's actually a normal.
Is it like
I think that's a normal
hypnagogic hallucination?
There's a thing I was looking it up. If you look at the blue sky, if you concentrate carefully enough, you actually see all these little squiggly lines moving all around. That's
I see that all the time.
And low blood sugar.
That's your. I think it's the
Get
blood
your
moving,
insulin, David.
Yeah, I think it's your blood moving through your
the capillaries
in your eyes.
Yeah.
I think
oh my god! And I just got this picture of like things that look like capillaries on the screen.
So I think maybe something like that's related. For the skeptical, for the paranormal, I don't have an explanation for what.
What do you think, Lauren? What is it?
Well, it's around young children, right? So my first thought is always like when it's like young children or like adolescent kids. My first thought is like poltergeist. No, poltergeist activity.
It's Uncle Static Entity coming to visit little Jimmy.
Well,
why do poltergeists hang around kids?
Well, for like a lot of the stuff that I've read about it is like it's just extra. It's like uncontrolled emotional energy.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not actually an extra being.
They're just free.
Yeah, they're just emotionally more free, or energetically more free.
Okay.
So shit goes down. So that's kind of where my mind goes when I think about stuff like interacting with kids like this. But I don't know, because it seems like there's more of a personality to these things than with regular poltergeist activity.
Yeah, well, I mean, from what John's describing in the stories, it does sound like they're not necessarily like trying to inflict harm, because a typical poltergeist is, the story that goes along with it is they're trying to create, like, instill fear and, show dominance and try to, like, actually make things happen.
I think it's maybe a side effect of, like, maybe
medication.
No, I think it's I think it's probably more of a side effect of, like, maybe some sort of, like, future, like, time viewing device or something.
Oh, okay.
Like, maybe it's like the kid, they're like, oh, I want to, look back in my childhood. Maybe in the future there's like, because it's like conceivable in science that you could like look back in time and maybe it would make...
Well, with quantum entanglement and all that, there's definitely a possibility that that's
like
true.
Like remote seeing?
Yeah, it's like a device that lets you view into the past,
Yeah.
I just got this image in my head of, what was the viewfinder thing? You had like the round disc you stuck in the red goggles.
Oh, yeah.
It had like the Disney pictures. And you're just seeing like random snapshots, and like you see in the what you're looking at is like a because it's like a scared child.
And then you go on Reddit and you post about it. You're
Right.
like, oh, right, that happened.
It's like,
I scared myself.
I really wonder about the privacy implications of like a tool like that. Like there would have to be rules, right? Like
Jesus can see me masturbate, so why would that be a
why
problem?
Why can't I?
Yeah. I want to watch myself masturbate when I'm 3 or 4.
But that does make me wonder, like, if you can go back and look through time, like, you could go look at somebody on the shitter, like, and they'd never know. That's why John's bathroom scares me so much, is I feel like there's something watching me.
You'd let anybody watch you.
A look and see? Or
for a fee.
What was that thing called? A look and view or look and see? If anybody knows what it's called.
Yeah, if anyone knows what those red goggles...
I think it's a viewfinder.
A viewfinder?
Viewfinder?
Okay. I'll accept that.
By Mattel.
Yeah.
Viewfinder.
Watch people on the shitter. By Mattel.
Interdimensional scat play.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh. All right, the last one I wanted to talk about is the ghostly radio station that no one claims to run.
Oh, this one is creepy.
This is really creepy because this is true.
So MDZHB has been broadcasting since 1982, and no one knows why. So that's the signature of the radio station, I believe it's called. It's like, all those letters, MDZHB.
It sounds like a Russian word if you were to say it all together.
In the middle of a Russian swampland not far from the city of St. Petersburg is a rectangular iron gate. Beyond its rusted bars is a collection of radio towers, abandoned buildings, and power lines bordered by a dry stone wall. This sinister location is the focus of a mystery which stretches back to the height of the Cold War. It is thought to be the headquarters of a radio station, MDZHB, that no one has ever claimed to run. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the last 3.5 decades, it's been broadcasting a dull, monotonous tone. Every few seconds, it's joined by a second sound, like some ghostly ship sounding its foghorn.
So, Ace of Base.
Kind of sounds like the beginning. I listened to this after I wrote the Mysteriousnesses theme, and I came back. I was like, kind of sounds like that.
It is extremely close.
Oh, and thank you for writing that theme, by the way.
Yeah,
That's
you did
a
a
great
great job.
new theme.
Love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, I should have said that at the beginning of the show. I really like the new theme. David, why don't you take this next part while I get this buffer music that you sent me?
Which part, right here?
Yep.
It's
no, wait. This one.
Oh, once or twice a week, a man or a woman will read out some words in Russian, such as dinghy or farming specialist. And that's it. Anyone, anywhere in the world can listen simply by tuning a radio to the frequency 4,625 kilohertz. We
So
should
you could
try
have
that.
like a CB radio, but they have online CB simulator,
yeah.
or not ham radio simulators or whatever.
Right. It's so enigmatic. It's as if it were designed with conspiracy theorists in mind. Maybe it is. Today, the station has an online following number in the tens of thousands. Who know it affectionately as the Buzzer. It joins two similar mystery stations, the Pip and the Squeaky Wheel. As their fans readily admit themselves, they have absolutely no idea what they're listening to. So my thought on what this is, because this is some Russian thing from back in the, when did you say it was the 60s? Whoa!
Wow.
From back in the 60s or something?
Yeah, it started back in the 60s.
I think it's some, backup nuclear launch code sequence.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, so if they say the code word, whatever it is, not dinghy or farming specialist, but something else, and the missile silos go, time to launch.
So
that makes sense.
So it's like if all of the Russian's government is wiped out, this thing is just going to launch all the nukes.
Well,
and
it's
all
part of the mutually
predetermined-
assured destruction in reference to
Because,
nukes.
they were still developing, the internet back in the day, and that's the internet came about because of nuclear war. Basically, they wanted a way to connect to
right,
cities.
Because it was the intranet that was first started, right?
Right, yeah.
Like the internal military.
Exactly, and they wanted to branch off. So if there was a large hub that got blown up, they still wanted to be able to connect with everyone else. Where with phones and stuff, you probably wouldn't be able.
So
to do that.
let's go and unplug the radio station and see if this theory pans out.
Oh, that's not a good idea, I don't think.
Oops.
I don't know if radio stations would work right after a nuclear apocalypse, though, because of the EMP blast.
That's true.
I would think it would just zip it out.
You have to also remember, even in America, a lot of our nuclear programs are so antiquated as far as the software that they're built on. If you look at some of the computer systems that they use for nukes, it looks like something from the 70s because they haven't updated it.
Well,
so it's possible.
They're still on floppy disks.
I saw on a Vice News documentary they had floppy disks about the size of a record cover.
Yeah.
And then that was the thing that they pump into this giant cabinet-sized computer to load the launch codes.
And then they were talking about that the nuclear football, the password was 111. It was 6 ones because it was the only password that was easy for the president to remember.
Oh my god!
So
because you don't want to be panicking and then not be able to remember the password.
Is it 8675309? I can't remember. I'm the president of the United States. Literally, that's the one of the main jobs you have is to remember the nuke codes. So can you just imagine?
I thought he had a card that had the codes on it that he always kept on his person.
Oh, I don't know. But can you imagine Trump? Is it 11111?
Oh no!
He would be the one that would fuck it up.
2, 3.
We have the
4,
best set of sequence
5.
of ones ever in the state of the country.
So it says today it's transmitted from 2 locations, the St. Petersburg site and a location near Moscow. Bizarrely, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, rather than shutting down, the station's activity sharply increased.
Yeah, New England 03 says it sounds like a Cold War radio station.
Yeah. And also said
there's a few of these floating around out there that you can find being rebroadcast.
Yeah. Aren't there still like number stations that you can listen to?
That's sort of what this is.
Yeah.
Why is it so creepy though?
Yeah,
there's just something.
Well,
it's because it's Russian.
It's also radio. There's something creepy about radio because if there's no programming going on, it's usually static filled, and it's just. Have you?
And you don't have, and I think it's because it's on that loop. You don't have a mental connection to the sound that you're hearing, so it's just so ominous and just eerie to me when I hear it. It's it's like one of the things that does creep me out, even though it could just be like a mundane, natural thing. But still, like especially with those ghost boxes that they'll play, it'll like pick up different radio stations to say the words. That shit creeps me out.
What is this?
Ghost box.
A ghost box.
Okay.
It'll pick up on random radio frequencies, and then the ghost will use different frequencies from different stations to say words. Mm-hmm. So whatever someone's saying on the radio, like at one point, it'll draw in that word, and you'll hear. But it won't just be one concise sentence. It's various words from different frequencies, and it's creepy as fuck because it's constantly like.
How do you get one of those?
You can buy them online.
Amazon.com.
I want a ghost box.
Yeah,
we should get one.
Sounds cool. Yeah, we should.
Oh man,
that would be great.
We should get a ghost box and a Ouija board.
Yes.
I remember
in this house. Yes.
We remember when we were on the cruise ship and we got that app, that ghost hunting app.
Yes.
And it was like the ghost was saying people died on the ship.
What was saying?
It was like it said sailors and fire. And we were like, holy shit, because there was a fire on that ship.
In the room that I was staying in that area was where that fire was.
Yeah.
And you were also being spied on, right?
Yeah. Well,
that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Lauren had some very dedicated fans on that cruise ship.
Yeah, I had OnlyFans before it was a website.
She got proposed to twice or 3 times?
3 times.
3 times. We were only on that ship for 6 months. So.
Damn, Lauren, what's your secret, girl?
My secret is the key to a green card. That is my secret.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with Giants in our feature segment.
Ooh.
And then for You Believe in What, we're going to be talking about a flat earth dating site.
I am so excited for that segment.
Yeah. So we'll be right back with Giants. All right, welcome back to Mysteriousnesses. Sorry for all the technical difficulties at the beginning of the show. We're trying to update all this stuff and just make it a better experience for the viewer, especially the live viewers. We're definitely concentrating on that now, so excuse all these little hiccups that we keep having.
No, I'm not excusing it. Unacceptable.
All right.
40 lashes.
Yes.
Well, that's Lauren's other job, so.
She gets paid a lot more.
She's the
for
head.
that than here.
You have to pay me for it first.
Head mistress of Mysteriousnesses.
There you go.
I suggested the topic of giants for our feature segment, and Hugh decided to research the Nephilim.
Well,
but it goes hand in hand.
Okay, so here's the thing. John sent me a link to a Facebook group talking about the Nephilim, which is a Hebrew word. And I thought we were going to be specifically talking about them in particular. So I went ahead and took 30 minutes of my day today and plagiarized quite a few things to talk about here about the Nephilim, which is where the giants came from.
This is the origin story of the giants.
And there is some validity in the sense of they are mentioned in Scripture 3 times. So in the Bible, they are mentioned 3 times. So basically, from what I have stolen from various YouTube videos, so the Ken Ham says that they are dinosaurs. That are fighting humanoids.
Yeah, I did hear that one theory that we just didn't put the dinosaur bones together correctly, and they really should just be man-shaped.
Yeah, so
I'm a big fan of that one.
I think we should try it.
That sounds
why not?
As fuck.
They should have like a puzzle game at the Smithsonian online. Like, can you rearrange these bones to a different shape?
See, but then all the autistic kids would get it right, and then we'd have a problem.
Okay.
It's disclosure.
Some refer to the Okay, so they can either be called the Nephilim or the Nephilim. Some refer to them as fallen angels, or giant rock monsters. I guess there was a reference to giant rock monsters in the movie Noah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say in Darren Aronofsky's Noah, they're like rock monsters.
Yeah, they're like Gollum type figures.
It's really how people describe me. It's either fallen angel or rock monster. It's no in between.
Lauren Nephilim.
Yeah.
I don't think it was rock. I think it was a.
That's
kind of like that.
yeah.
Okay.
Different podcast.
That's for Mysteriousnesses After Dark. And then the mundane variant of who the Nephilim are a hybrid offspring of humans and angels. So the Nephilim are only mentioned 2 to 3 times in the Bible. Nephilim in Hebrew translates to the fallen ones.
Okay.
And if you actually take the etymology of that word apart, it actually stems down further to fallen in death, referring to heroic warriors or the killed ones.
So that's why a lot of people think that they're like basically fallen angels or the descendants of fallen angels.
Right. So the first mention of the Nephilim is in reference to in Genesis 6:4. So after listing Adam's descendants, and then right before the flood story of Noah, they were referred to as the sons of God, who bared children with human women. So basically, here's your equation. Product of the sons of God, so angels plus human women equals the Nephilim.
Okay.
All right.
So,
and I mean, there's a lot of cultures that have stories about women procreating with like gods or
the Babylonians,
demigods. The Greeks.
The Greeks.
Romans.
There's a lot of variants in reference to because a lot of these stories stem from similar myth and lore and whatnot. And then the other appearance of the reference to the Nephilim is in Numbers 13:1. After the Jews escaped Egypt in Exodus and fled to Canaan. And then this is a quote from the Bible, in case y'all want to know. The land we have gone through as spies is a land that devours its inhabitants, and all the people that we saw were of great size. There we saw the Nephilim. The Anakites come from the Nephilim, and to ourselves we seem like grasshoppers, and so we seem to them. So basically they're describing how big these people are.
Describing like 30-foot tall human beings.
Right. And it also, if you in the context of the Bible, that means they also survived the flood, because this was right before or right after the flood
They just had to
story.
stand there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Exodus, that's when the Jews...
Well, I thought, well, at least, okay, that was the movie that I was watching. I thought that wiped all of them out.
Well, these are the descendants of the Nephilim
Oh,
themselves,
okay.
the Anakites. And then the other thing is they were also mentioned a third time in Ezekiel, which mentions the death and afterlife in the Hebrew religion. And basically they would go to a place called Sheol, which is kind of like a Valhalla type place where the giants or warriors that were uncircumcised would go to after they died. So if you have an uncut penis, you're going to Sheol. Hope you all enjoy it.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the Valhalla reference, because the Norse people also believed in giants as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and especially in Norse mythology, and I'm not an expert on this, but there are variations to where you go when you die. So Valhalla would be like that would be like the heaven in a sense for them, where only the best warriors would go. If you died in battle, if you were like a martyr,
tier 1 heaven.
Yeah. So yeah,
You had to die a glorious battle. It's
the best
honorable death.
Yeah, an honorable man would go there or woman, because the women would fight as well,
Right.
the Norse women. So yeah, it's very similar as far as the origin of the history. And then the other place that's in a non-canonical sense, as far as where this was mentioned outside of the Bible, was in the Dead Sea Scrolls, which we were talking about the last time, is in the Book of Enoch. They are referenced that the Nephilim were basically demigods of heroic people that were of divine origin. So there's your quick little 5-minute intro into the Nephilim. So I was not a big fan of the topic because I thought it was just kind of like crazy stuff, but I didn't... looking back in reference to the Bible and stuff, there is reference to this. So
Hugh's sold on this now.
Yeah, no, I'm fully down the rabbit hole. I am a giant believer, and
it takes 4 memes before Hugh will believe it.
Not even 4, maybe 2 1/4. I don't have to read the third one. It's just
has to have to giant on the meme.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
really,
have to read it.
you know what really sold me on this is I'm just curious, how giant were their penises, right?
Oh,
Because
well.
that's what everybody in the chat's asking. Yeah, look, everyone say
The
how.
real question.
How? And they were uncircumcised, so you know.
You can make a little tent out of it.
There's a lot of hummus in the Nephilim, if you know what I'm talking about.
So yeah, the running conspiracy theory is that there was like in the 1800s and 1900s, like archaeologists found actual remains of these giants.
Right.
So,
and not only just remains, but they found them in America specifically.
There's a ton in America.
In the Northeast, and they found them all over the world, aside from America too.
Yeah.
Skulls, fragments of bodies, like beings that were like, or people that were of like 7 to 8 feet tall.
Yeah. Right. And then at a certain point, it's like all this stuff was like documented in like newspapers and stuff. You know, so it was like stuff that archaeologists were finding in, specifically in America, mounds. And, you know, because there's a ton of Native American mound builders all across America.
Mm-hmm.
So at a certain point, and conspiracy theorists blame this on the Smithsonian, all of these discoveries started becoming debunked. So there's the conspiracy that the Smithsonian is keeping this information from us for some reason.
And
Of
they
course.
supposedly destroyed the skulls of giants as well. That's another article, too, that we were reading.
Well, I could see. Is that supposed to be a real photo of the... That does not look like an excavation at all. It looks like someone dug a little shallow grave and then threw a fake bone in it.
Supposed to be like, I don't know. I don't know if it was supposed to be like ground.
Did they buy a skeleton from the Spirit Halloween store and just like threw it in there?
Put some dirt on
Not
it.
this year. Got to get it online.
Wow.
No
way
spirit.
to bring me down.
Sorry.
Now we have a lot of mound, Indian burial mounds in Florida.
We have one. Well, it's not a burial mound, but it's a mound.
Yeah, I remember my thesis for American literature. I did my thesis on a journal from a Spanish explorer. I forget what his real name was, but the native people called him basically Cowhead, Cabeza de Vaca.
Mm.
And
the guy on the radio?
Yeah, the guy on the radio.
Cowhead?
I always thought it was funny that they had the same name. But yeah, he's the very first explorer to land in Tampa Bay.
Oh,
And
okay.
Not even on purpose. It was from a hurricane, and he was stranded. And basically, the journal is a story of him walking from Florida to central Texas over the course of 11 years.
Damn.
That's interesting.
The part that relates to this is one of the journal entries, or several of the journal entries. He would talk about their party being attacked by native Floridians, you know, and this is like, I believe this is in the 1500s or the 1600s, something like that.
Well, when did Ponce de Leon supposedly find
It was the late
the East,
14,
the West
early
Indies?
15s, I think.
So this is like probably in the 1500s, and he reported that there were normal-sized men attacking them, but there was also giant men attacking them. So like 7-8 foot tall men with.
I think he was just a soy boy and he couldn't handle the pressure, so he had to make up a story.
Yeah, well, I think the Europeans were a lot smaller than at least the native North Americans.
Oh yeah, everyone back in the day was like 5'6".
Yeah, people were a lot shorter.
Yeah.
So, but he reports that these guys had like giant bows, you know?
Yeah.
That could like shoot arrows through like that conquistador breastplate armor.
Oh god.
And that were the arrows were shot with such force that they would actually go through like medium-sized oak trees.
And yet he seemed to survive walking from Florida to Texas.
Well, out of a party.
That means he had to go through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
That's a lot of them arrows.
As a Hispanic man, that would never happen today.
Not
He
only
wouldn't
that,
get through
but
it.
just the fact that he's walking through there in the 1500s and surviving everything that would come across his path through that entire trek is phenomenal
Bigfoot,
in and of itself.
It was only
giants.
him out of a part. I don't know how many people were on the ship, but the ship was wrecked by a storm. But out of a party of like probably like 50 or so, him and one other guy were the only survivors.
Man, this guy had shit luck.
And just think, yeah, he went through Biloxi and everything and didn't lose his
Dude,
life
Biloxi
savings.
smells like shit. Have you ever driven through Biloxi?
Yeah.
It smells like, literally, you could take that poop stain that we're talking about in Antarctica.
Yep, it's in Biloxi.
You cannot differentiate them. If you put the two on a map and looked at them side by side, same thing.
That's a real mystery, is why it smells so bad.
There is a high stench there.
Yeah.
So here's some excerpts from a book called "The Ancient Giants Who Ruled America."
Yeah.
This is
a really interesting article.
This part is from a section called "Of Coneheads and Kings." It says, in many respects, the West Virginia mounds are key to understanding the true story of the giants who once ruled America.
The West Virginia mounds, also known as The Hills Have Eyes. Have you guys ever seen the movie?
Okay.
Not only are the West Virginia mound sites in Charleston, Wheeling, and Moundsville some of the most significant in size and number in the United States, but in 1883, the Smithsonian dispatched a team of archaeologists to the South Charleston Mound led by Colonel Morris of the Smithsonian to conduct an extensive dig of the 50 mounds they found there and issue a detailed report. The report shows quite clearly that the team uncovered numerous giants, one of which was 7'6" tall and decorated with 6 heavy copper bracelets on each wrist and on his shoulder, were large plates of mica. In another mound, they found a circle of 10 skeletons surrounding another giant skeleton, as well as underground vaults, various copper and mica ornaments, religious items, pipes, and spearheads.
Again, this is West Virginia, so you're gonna find some pipes.
How tall is Shaq, by the way? Is he 7'2"?
Shaq is definitely a descendant of the giants.
Yeah.
I scoured the internet.
Yeah.
And I did some Ancestry.com searching.
Okay.
Okay, here's a few people that I found that could potentially be related to the giants, okay?
Okay.
So the first one,
these are celebrities.
Celebrities, yeah. So I couldn't get my hands on Wendy Williams' 24andMe results, but she definitely has that mandibular structure of a large, giant woman. The Rock.
Yeah.
Howard Stern. These are all very large.
Is Howard Stern tall? Because he's always sitting down.
Howard Stern is 6'5".
Wow. Oh, wow.
And he's also a descendant of the Israelites, because he is Jewish.
Yeah.
So maybe there was some inbreeding going on there, between the tribes. I don't know. I'm just saying, this is what the internet told me. Don't hold it against me. RuPaul, as we were talking about earlier. Yeah. The brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh, yeah.
He's quite Cro-Magnon looking.
Yeah.
And then Freddie Mercury.
Definitely part angel.
He's really not that tall, but he's got a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
There's a heavy dental presence in that mouth.
Who is the tallest celebrity you found?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna assume it's Wendy Williams when she's wearing heels. But anyways, back to John. That was my intro to
extremely
roasting.
Ancient human remains have been found throughout New York State and New England that date back at least 9,000 to 9,000 BC. In a report from the Syracuse Herald American in 1983, so this one's pretty recent compared to some of the other ones, anthropologists from the Buffalo Museum of Science, 14,000 artifacts were dug up from a site called Phoenix Hill. In a county historical report called A History of Livingston County, New York, published in 1824, reported that in 1811, an Indian mound on Mount Morris, rude metals, pipes, and articles were uncovered in association with the remains of a giant of enormous size, the jawbone of which was so large that Adam Hoslander placed it mask-like over his own chin and jaw. So that's like a jawbone of like this big.
That's huge.
Yeah.
At least 8 to 10 feet, I would say.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you're pretty tall. I mean, what are you, like 6'1", 6"?
I'm like 6'2" on my driver's license.
So again, John,
how many did they find?
Are you circumcised, John?
I am.
Oh, see,
listeners need
you're
to
know.
not going to Sheol.
I'm under-circumcised.
No, he is.
No, Sheol's for the uncircumcised warrior. Because you were a warrior.
That's
so
true.
You're not going to Sheol.
I'm under-circumcised.
He's
though,
going
so
to Valhalla.
Still got a little bit left.
Oh, okay. Well, you can go to Valhalla.
Yeah. Let's see. The skeletons were said to be in a perfect state of preservation and that the men were of gigantic stature, some of them measuring 9 feet, very few of them being less than 7 feet. Later, the report notes that a lost city was found on a farm in Dunville, New York, in association with 2 tons of charcoal and various implements indicating the site of an ancient forge. Further digging revealed axes, tomahawks, beads, and several smoking pipes, some engraved with dogs' heads. Giant skeletons were also unearthed, the skulls of which are of enormous size and all manner of shapes, some being twice the size of a normal human. So that's 16 feet tall, No.
No,
quite.
that would be
No,
twice
12
the size,
feet tall?
like 10 to 12 feet
10 to
tall.
12 feet
This
tall?
is why I wish humans had dick bones. Because then we could have found out like how big their dicks were.
That's
Listen,
Now
Lauren
I'll
and
be a
I are on
mystery.
the same wavelength. These are really serious questions that I need to know the answers to, because not only did they destroy the skulls, but the potential dick bones that went along with these giants.
You know what? That's what I want to believe. The giants, they had dick bones. For sure. We just got to find them. They've probably
Dick
been
bones, dick
mistaken for like
bones.
T-Rex like ribs or something.
I looked it up, by the way. Tallest celebrity is Peter Mayhew, guy who played Chewbacca.
Ah.
That's Raver's name. 7'2", and Brad Garrett, the brother in Everyone Loves.
Oh, he has a name?
Yeah, he's 6'8".
brother.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now this doesn't have basketball players are usually a lot taller, so they don't. These are just actors, I guess.
I guess they don't consider basketball players celebrities.
They said out of the 7.25 billion people in the world, 2,800 of them are 7 feet or tall or better. So that's one.
That's a minuscule amount of people.
That's 1 in every 1.6 million people are over 7 feet tall.
I also heard that supposedly that the people that are of Rh negative blood descendant or Rh negative blood, if you have a negative blood type, you are a descendant of the Anunkai or whatever.
Anunnaki.
Or the Anunnaki, which is basically the descendants of the Nephilim. So.
Oh, I got on. What is it? How do you say that?
Anunnaki?
Anunnaki. I got on Anunnaki TikTok the other day.
Did you really?
I don't know how, but I stumbled
That's
across
a
it.
rare one. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a rare TikTok.
Were they dressed in rare fabrics and silks?
They were talking all about it.
Have you stumbled across the August 27th TikTok yet?
No, I don't know what that is.
There's a rare sound on TikTok that doesn't have a time. It's really fucking creepy sounding.
Okay.
And whenever you stumble across it, it's a video saying you've been chosen. August 27th is when it happens. And I've gotten this like different posts. So
is that when the radio station gets unplugged?
Maybe that's it.
Oh man, we're fucked.
And it says fire the
It could just be
missiles.
disclosure.
It could be disclosure.
Fires the missiles.
But yeah,
Alaska can come too.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens August 27th.
So, copper helmeted giants rule. There have been a number of intriguing finds in Indiana over the years, including the discovery of 8 skeletons, one clad in copper armor, buried in a perfect circle. In 1888, the Logan Greys, a military group led by A.M. Jones, were conducting military exercises on a small island on Eagle Lake near Warsaw, Indiana. Under a flat stone, they discovered a hole that led to an entrance to a secret cave that was 25 feet long, 15 feet wide, and 8 feet deep. Inside was the skeleton of a 6'9" giant buried next to a stream that led to what was called a sacred pool. That's interesting. In 1889, near Kewanee, standing stones were found on a mound, and underneath another giant was unearthed while in Whitlock, Indiana, another giant was found in association with a group buried in a seated position. One of the largest finds on record was reported in A History of Jennings County, Indiana, published in 1885. It was reported that in 1881, a 9-foot-tall skeleton was unearthed in a local mound, along with the body of a blonde-haired child. And finally, these are all the Indiana ones, in 1912, an enormous jaw was dug up that had double rows of teeth, that's weird, and unique characteristic of some giants discovered in other parts of the country as well. So the double rows of teeth is like a giant thing?
See, I don't want to hear about these giants, quote unquote, that are under 9 feet, because we have them here. Give me those 11-foot giants.
I need 30-foot giants.
Yeah, I need 30-foot
But it was just assumed,
storm giants.
It was
That's
just
what I'm
like
looking for.
assumed that everybody, 10,000 years ago was like 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
5 feet tall, you know?
Well, I think it's probably just a gene or something, some sort of recessive gene that only pops up in 1 in every 1-point-something million people. And back then, in 1800,
they
world
probably
population was a
fucking
billion.
stoned them to death and buried them in like a weird way and like sacrificed
Well,
them.
so one of the things that I found earlier was the Roman Emperor Maximilius something or other. I forget his name, but he was 8 feet tall, actually.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
8 feet?
8 feet.
That's what they said.
That's ridiculous. I saw that, but I didn't read that.
Roman Emperor
There were so
giant.
many things in
It
there.
is Maximinus Thrax. His name is Thrax.
That's a hell
That's
of
a
a name.
badass name right
Yeah.
there.
Badass name for an 8-foot-tall dude with a sword.
Yeah. given supreme command of the Imperial Army in
given.
Yeah, I don't think there was a choice in the matter.
He took it. Stood over.
Does
8
it say
feet
how
tall.
big his penis was?
I can only imagine. I mean,
When that day comes. I don't know why.
So a lot of these burial mounds are the theory is that they're related to ancient, like super ancient copper mines that these giants like worked, or maybe possibly forced humans to work.
So like orcs in Lord of the Rings, or
Yeah.
what was Gimli?
A dwarf.
A dwarf. Like, didn't they mine the? But they were tiny.
yeah,
they were tiny.
But I mean, that's another segment that we could do sometime. Is there's a whole race of Hobbit people that have
Yeah,
supposedly
like
lived
the
on
inner
Earth.
I think we
world
talked about that
people.
on a recent
Did we?
podcast,
Oh, okay.
or maybe a year ago or so.
Don't you subscribe and listen? Don't you
when I have
smash the
time.
like button?
Yeah.
Smash
do.
that like button.
Smash that like button. It's your boy David the Day. Smash that like button and subscribe and hit the bell so you know.
So a lot of these mounds, well, with the whole copper thing, there's like they found a ton of evidence in the United States that there were these huge copper mines, but they don't know where that copper went.
Oh, that's creepy.
So I don't know, like aliens, or maybe
Spaceships.
there was like
There was some
sort of
meth head
trading
alien
system.
that
Yeah,
was
meth
like
alien.
stripping the copper in the mountains, selling it for crack.
That's
in
the
Yeah, I mean,
the
oldest
Andromeda Galaxy.
profession.
Do you think there's a giant buried at Philippi Park?
Is
For
there a mound
listeners
there?
who don't
Yeah.
know, there is an Indian
Oh,
mound.
let's go dig it up.
There is an Indian
Field
Native
trip.
American mound over at Philippi Park. It's a park near where we live. Maybe there's a giant buried in
Maybe
it.
Ryan Philippi has some explaining to do.
Yeah, they named the park after the one guy that wasn't supposed to be buried there.
Yep.
No, is it like?
It's not a burial mound, but that doesn't mean there isn't something buried.
It's a big, tall mound. Have you
Yeah.
never seen it?
I've been to Philippi Park, but I've never seen the mound.
That's where you go to Philippi Park.
Well,
It's
we
like
need
25 feet tall.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring some black onyx for protection.
Yeah.
I'll light a candle, say a prayer, and then we're digging that bitch up.
I don't think that's enough protection to dig up
If
a
we have the mayor
burial
of Palm
mound.
Harbor, I believe that's all the protection I'm gonna need.
With the power vested in the mayor of Palm Harbor,
Yep.
we can dig up
We'll be
this
safe.
burial mound.
No, that's in Safety Harbor. They're a competitive.
Oh.
They're a fierce rival.
Oh, we don't fuck with the mayor there.
No.
They're not into the Mysteriousnesses. I bet they don't like and smash
No.
the subscribe button.
They like to keep their
They've
secrets.
got the Safety Harbor spa. They're too
Hoity-toity.
hoity-toity over
Yeah.
So this is what the author says is the most colorful account of giants. that
As
he's
if
ever
the
come
others were vague and monotone.
They were just basic giant discoveries. So he said there's a wide-ranging and colorful account I came across. It was called The Natural and Aboriginal History of Tennessee by Dr. John Haywood, which was first published in 1823. Haywood combines an exhaustive first-person account of his many astonishing discoveries in combination with an excellent overview of the previous historical finds in the area. Among his amazing discoveries are accounts of giants found in a walled spring, caves with stones that rolled away containing more giants, and 4 upright standing stones that formed a square box inside of which was the body of another giant. About 10 miles from Sparta, a skeleton 8 feet tall was found in association with a perfectly smooth and round stones in an ancient child's toy set. Oh, and an ancient toy just not
Yeah.
in.
Maybe the bones were the child's toys, and the giants
Could
were
be.
actually
Or-
bigger than we thought.
Or it was the child, was the toy.
Oh. Dun dun
Turns
dun.
out children were the
So it's-
toys all along.
It says perhaps his most amazing finds were the tiny mounds that contain caskets of the 3-foot-tall moon-eyed children who are the pygmies that were said to accompany the giants. The 3-foot-tall pygmies were originally said to have come from North Carolina. And
Not that we literally just figured that out before you fucking read it. That's a little crazy.
What is moon-eyed? What is that
I'm
mean?
going to say,
Gray
you ever
aliens?
seen that show,
Gotta be gray
Deadwood?
aliens.
Oh.
They called them Celestials.
The
Asian
people?
Yeah, that's what they call. I'm wondering if they were
Yeah.
Native American.
Maybe.
Wow, that's. Yeah.
I'm just.
But that's where. That's
what they called them in the show.
And that's where, from what I've read, the Hobbit race of people were over in like East Asia.
Oh, okay.
So that makes sense.
I think they found him in an island off of New Zealand.
Oh, really?
Like the head.
So they were hobbits.
Oh my God, that's true.
Yeah, it was a documentary.
Down in Tasmania. Down in Tasmania.
So Cherokee lore recounts that they waged war against these moon-eyed people and drove them from their home in Hisassee, a village in Murphy, North Carolina, and west into Tennessee. In addition to numerous giants and pygmies, Haywood discovered grave goods including bloody axes, a stone trumpet hunting horn, carved mastodon bones, soapstone statues, and pipes.
That sounds like my sex toy collection underneath my bed.
Yes.
In a cave on the south side of the Cumberland River, a secret room was discovered that was 25 foot square and showed sign of engineering, as it contained a large rock-cut well, as well as the skeleton of a blonde-haired giant outside of Sparta.
How do they know it was blonde-haired?
I guess the hair... in a lot of these accounts, like the bodies still have hair on them.
Yeah, I noticed there was a couple of them from the other articles I was reading that they did say that there was hair, but they didn't specify that they actually saw the hair. Like, I'm assuming they did, but to preserve hair... I mean, even in, like, the mummies in Egypt, and they were, experts at preserving bodies, they didn't have hair.
Right.
The mummies usually, like, up in the mountains in South America have hair because, I guess...
Because of the cold, maybe?
Because of the cold or maybe lack of oxygen.
Oh, yeah, because oxygen is what's going to eat
A lot of the
everything
mummies
away.
in South America were mummified just by, like, somebody going up there and then just sitting down to die. And then... and then
like a
just
cat?
and then just never moving.
Yeah.
I think the theory was that they did it on purpose as like a tribute of some sort. But anyway, blonde-haired giant. Outside of Sparta, a standing stone was discovered that marked the burial of more oversized skeletons. In another burial at the top of a nearby hill, carved ivory beads were found of the finest and best quality, while in a dig at Ohio Falls, Roman coins depicting Claudius II and Maximus... Is that the same
Maximinus,
guy?
the second, yeah.
Maximinus, the second
Thrax.
one covered.
Thrax.
I only remember Thrax, and I think of Thorax, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like 8 feet tall, so it must have been huge. So he must have like a 16-pack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could climb it.
So I do find that super interesting that they said that Maximinus was a giant, and then they found some of his coins that he minted in the Americas alongside giants.
Yeah, that is interesting. Well, I remember reading, I forget the exact theory that I think it's called the circumpolar theory, and it goes back to like the clan of the cave bear, where there was like this one theory that they come up with that apparently people were actually crossing land bridges to come to the Americas way before, earlier than what we even think.
Yeah.
And I think it's called the circumpolar theory. And there was the bear shamans that believe that the bear, we descended from bears, and that there's like an underlying general consensus of like shamanic practice. If you go back to the earliest religions of all the countries around the world, stem from that same thing. So the fact that could have existed years and years and years, eons before, what we're talking about now, just tells me that people were communicating and exchanging information and trading and traveling, way before we thought, especially to the Americas. But yeah, it's crazy to think that, and that they're finding Roman coins in North America is just...
That's wild.
Because we're taught in school that, everything was so partitioned and compartmentalized.
Right. Nobody could get to anybody.
It was Christopher Columbus that found America, which really is not true.
It's not true at
That
all.
is fundamentally
there's
incorrect.
evidence that the Norse people were here.
Leif Erikson. I remember that from school.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, they found Viking boats from...
Boats and, like, they had, like, carved runic symbols in Canada and shit.
Up in, like, in Newfoundland or something, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, those Vikings are fucking crazy. They're like, yeah, we know there's something that way. Let's just try it.
They were not flat earthers at all.
No.
They did not care about the edge of the earth.
That actually kind of brings us to our next segment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm excited to talk about this. This is our segment called You Believe in What?
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 You believe in what?
We got to get some music for that, too.
Yeah, we got to get some music.
But,
you believe in what?
That's it.
I believe in you.
Yeah, maybe it should be kind of a...
That was my tribute to Michael Jackson. My Venmo is Hugh_Carey 22 if you'd like to send me some cash
Send me
for that
money.
beautiful rendition.
Let me find the article here.
I'm so excited because I really need help dating, so I feel like this is gonna help me.
You're gonna date.
You're
a
gonna
flat
have
earther?
like 17 guys on you to like, or no, there's like one
When
woman.
will be your first time?
Go on.
I listen. We're gonna be competing.
So they have, how do you find love when you believe the earth is flat? Well, the answer is flat earth singles.
Go
where
to
flat
a Trump
earthers
rally.
Find love.
FlatEarthSingles.com is the hottest new dating website.
It's not even new. In 2015, Brian Dolan decided not to pay for a digital TV subscription, reasoning that he could find all of his entertainment for free online.
Torrent.
He's not lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That
was
is
a-
factual so far.
Yeah.
It was a life-changing moment. He ended up spending a lot of time watching conspiracy videos and kept seeing pop-ups for videos made by people who believe the earth is flat.
Okay.
I thought it was the stupidest thing ever, says Dolan, who is 39 and lives in Niagara Falls.
See, this is his downfall. He should have stopped there when he said, "I thought this is the stupidest thing ever."
Yep.
Yeah, don't keep watching the videos.
Yeah, but then
That's how they get
that
you.
quickly changed, it says.
It did.
Yeah, this is a common occurrence. Someone investigates conspiracy theories on YouTube. They dismiss Flat Earth as ridiculous. They're converted, often after watching the Flat Earth Clues video by the community's poster boy, Mark Sargent. The same thing happened to Dolan. Within a few weeks, he had, as the Flat Earth community puts it, woken up. He's woke.
He's woken.
He's woke.
It's like people all around the world believe this, guys, okay?
All around the globe.
Yes.
Dolan describes himself as socially awkward, and didn't have a girlfriend until his early 20s.
He didn't need to tell us that.
I mean, that was basically rhetorical.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all on the same wavelength.
Other than a short relationship a few years later, nothing has really stuck.
And the fact that him and his mom were close does not count.
And that she's in his closet deteriorating.
They
as we
they
speak.
no longer speak
She's
because
a
she
giant.
believes the Earth is round, so he had to disown her from the family.
He believes becoming a flat earther has affected his romantic life. But hold on, he said that he was 39 before he found out about this, and he only had like 2 girlfriends.
I
Blame that
actually
on
kind of
being
feel
flat
kind of
Earth.
bad for him.
Yeah.
So wait, I have a quick question for you guys. If everybody here in this room was single and you were dating someone and they told you that they believed that the Earth was flat and were straight up serious about it, would you continue dating them?
No.
Is everything
Probably
else cool?
Lauren's like, how big's this dick?
Yeah. How big's the dick or tits? But like, if everything else was cool, like if they were super supportive and loving, and like they could talk to. I'm sure they wouldn't care that I believe in ghosts. So. I don't know.
Don't you think? I mean,
it doesn't hurt
Don't you
anyone.
think that would carry over into other aspects of your life?
I
If you
don't-
honestly, I feel like most flat earthers are trolls. I don't think they actually believe.
I do think that.
No, I think that's when
You
we
need to
first
venture onto
I think when
YouTube
we
more.
first started talking about this, maybe like 6-8 years ago, I think that was the case.
Yeah.
But now it is not.
Yeah, they've become the Borg. They're assimilating people, and you can't get away from it.
Yeah.
It's this whole anti-science.
I don't know. I
really
think
just,
I think I would be okay with it, honestly.
Would you? So if
But
Leah
I
told
would-
you tomorrow, I've converted to flat eartherism.
But I would prove it to her. I would just pay for a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah, what if you proved it to them and they still didn't believe it? They're like, this is just a holograph.
Then I would be done probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I do believe
you
this
can-
is a holograph because if you look at the whole new thing that's come out about black holes, there is a very good chance we are living on a 2-dimensional plane in a holograph. But I'm not going to get into
Well,
that.
see, that's okay. I'm willing to accept that, but not that the Earth is flat.
I mean, technically everything's flat if we were living in a hologram, right?
Flat world.
True,
Yeah.
flat world. No, I like it though, because like I kind of want to try this out because I have the perfect like tagline for my profile. It's like the Earth is flat, but I am not. I think that's like perfect.
No, it's
right?
like we were saying.
Yeah.
The Earth is flat, but my chest is not. I got
Exactly.
these titties have hemispheres, bitch.
Exactly. It's perfect.
Can I not say that on Twitch?
No, you can. Oh, you know.
You
Oh,
can.
okay.
It's educational.
It's educational.
So
It's- yeah,
flat
it's
Earthers
science.
compare their belief to a religion. Though
It
you
is a
shouldn't-
cult-like religion.
It is.
They said though you shouldn't hit someone over the head with it, it is so important that you should mention it early to a potential partner, Dolan says.
It's like, listen, David, I know we're dating, but I gotta let you know. I'm a flat earther.
And then they're like, oh God, I thought you were gonna say.
And I also have
herpes.
AIDS.
Oh, and herpes.
It's like, I can handle the AIDS, but the flat earth shit's got to go.
Dolan says he doesn't know how many flat earthers are in his area, and anyway, he thinks 95% of female flat earthers are in a relationship. Oh, too bad.
The best ones are always taken.
Once a friend made and operated a profile for him on the dating site Plenty of Fish, which mentioned that Dolan is a flat earther. A few people were interested, but Dolan asked that he take it down. I'm not good at the game, he says. He faces an unusual but not unique challenge. How do you find love when you think the Earth is flat?
That's a great question. That's such a great question.
Okay, so if you
NASCAR, Trump rallies.
Yeah, look for people who don't wear masks.
People who don't wear masks.
Yeah.
Sturgis, North Dakota.
Wyoming.
Wyoming. You know.
Illinois.
I told John I went to the website, and then I kept getting these pop-ups saying, meet hot local retards in your area.
No. Really?
I don't think you can say retard, though.
R words.
Well, this is what you saw. Okay, so that's fine.
This is factual.
So
It
this
was
is,
a true
I don't
pop-up.
even know how much I want to read of this.
This whole, this sounds like an entire Onion
I
article.
think people should just go to this website. Oh, is he with someone now?
This is a different guy. There's
Oh.
several guys that have been trying to find love on here.
Page Windle.
I honestly don't. Has anyone ever met a woman that believes the Earth is flat?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
I have not.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think you.
Lauren, you could be the flat Earth honeypot.
But I mean, I could lie about it.
I don't think I've
I
met
can humor them.
any person that seriously believes.
That
I know-
legitimately believes it.
I know a comic that is a flat earther.
I know.
Do we know who they are?
Oh yeah.
I know.
Really?
I know a tube earther, Jared.
Jared is two births. I mean, I had a guy. I mean, I had the one guy hit on me who was a flat earther.
Oh yeah, he tried to dip kiss you after saying like, "Look at how flat it is out there."
We
you
were
can't even
we were
see
flyering for the show that I was promoting, and so I made the mistake of going into this parking garage with him, and we were putting up flyers on each level of the parking garage. When we got to the top level of the parking garage, he pointed out to the bay. We were down in St. Pete, and he pointed over to Clearwater to where the power plant is, and he goes, "How far away do you think that power plant is?"
Oh, for Christ's sake.
And I was like, I don't know, 15 miles maybe? I have no idea how far away that is. He goes,
Let me get my sextant out and get a good glimpse.
he starts doing some like Rain Man math. He's like 25,000 by and he goes, yeah, no way the Earth is flat. And then he grabs me.
Or no way the Earth is round.
Oh yeah, no way the Earth is round. Then he grabs me and tries to dip kiss me. I swear it happened in that
The
order.
weirdest stuff happens to you.
None of it good. Like why?
It's just weird.
Do you know where this man resides?
No, thank God.
So it's very possible he had escaped from an institution.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
We don't have any factual evidence that he was allowed to be out in the general public.
Oh, yeah,
I just
I don't
love
believe
that
it
that's
either.
his go-to. It's like, I just told this chick what's up about flat Earth. Let me dip kiss her.
I
now.
just blew her mind.
I bet she's moister than an oyster.
Oh God!
I guarantee that this guy is on the site now.
Oh, he probably is.
Listen, I'm gonna join it just for the fuck of it. I'm gonna do some recon, and I'm gonna come back and we'll report next episode with my findings. How about that?
I might
Because
join
listen,
it
I'm on
too.
Hinge, and it's not much better.
No, Hinge really
is
isn't.
not much better.
Oh,
I had
it's
some
awful.
guy. I had a guy that was in a wheelchair. I had a guy that was wearing a Boy Scout uniform, and literally a guy that was wearing a fucking eye patch, dressed as a pirate in
Pirate fetish.
his main profile picture. So it can't be any worse.
Oh,
Well,
oh, it can always get worse.
I'm gonna go on there and say, prove to me.
would you date a man who wants to shoot himself in a rocket to go up and prove that the Earth is flat? And
Does he have a lot of money?
And he has a lot of money, and the parachute fires while he launches. And,
Bitch, I'll light the rocket.
and-
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
then he crashes and he sustains traumatic injuries and dies. on
Yeah,
the
he
spot.
died.
Yeah, he died.
Did you watch that video?
Yes.
That happened.
Yeah.
There was an actual man that
Oh
did
man,
His parachute.
he was dead for sure.
Yeah, his parachute.
It flew off as he launched.
Yeah.
It would just detached itself.
Well,
it was
and then
like
wait,
a Wile E. Coyote.
The flat Earth
rocket
people
launch.
would say that that's NASA trying to disprove him.
True.
And then okay, so here's my question: what is the government getting out of the fact that the Earth is flat?
Yeah.
Who's winning? The globe, the people that make fucking
The globalists.
globes?
I mean, the flat Earth.
I'm not like I can get behind a lot of conspiracy theories as far as like the general like where it stems from,
Yeah.
the genesis of the crazy chaos.
Yeah.
But like this whole thing with the flat Earth, like what? why is this like somebody's got to benefit from this, and I don't know what the benefit is.
That's my deal with it too. Is like there's no
That's
motive that I can find.
If you could prove to me tomorrow that the Earth is a cube, I'm not gonna deny it, and I don't feel like someone's gonna miss out on the fact that we were wrong about spheres.
In the flat Earth conspiracy, NASA only exists to perpetuate the conspiracy.
Yeah,
but that doesn't make sense.
No,
to
it doesn't.
me.
So
and we're surrounded by an ice wall.
Yeah, ice
and
wall.
the word "surround" in reference means like circular.
Right.
So like I don't know.
Well, a couple weeks ago, John Oliver did a whole thing on conspiracy theories. And one of the things was, who does it benefit anyone to perpetuate it?
Right.
And the last one, he had three, I forget what all three of them were, but the biggest one was, how practical is it to actually have this conspiracy theory? And he
Well,
used,
as far as flat Earth goes, it would have to be every single pilot.
Yeah, every
in the
single
world.
pilot, every person part of NASA, every government agency, and he used the moon landing as a reference. And he said,
"Well, that's not true. That didn't happen."
Well, he said there were.
I've seen the Stanley Kubrick documentary.
Oh boy!
No, I'm just fucking around.
I know. No, but he said in order for that to be secret, I think it was like 500,000 people would have to stay quiet about it.
Okay,
and they calculated it would take 3 years before the secret was out.
Okay, here's the thing. To combat that and just play devil's advocate, people use that in reference to 9/11. Say, oh, nobody could keep this a secret if it was an inside job. But the problem is they did, and it happened.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the only thing I'm saying. So, but for that, because of the amount, like the amount of the gravity of amount of people that were involved in that, it would just be ridiculous.
Right.
It means that all of math is wrong, and that all of physics is wrong, and that everybody that buys into it, that's a scientist that has devoted their life to this, is
we
wrong.
can prove that physics works.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the scientific method is there for a reason, and But that's the only thing. Like I would listen if the Earth was flat, I want to believe it, but prove to me why this is even bullshit to begin with.
Hugh's gonna be believing this by next episode. He's gonna be
that's
dating a new guy.
exactly how Dolan got into it.
He's gonna be dating a new guy. And
Hey,
be like, guys, seriously,
That doesn't sound so bad.
Dolan, if you're watching and you swing both ways, hit me up.
Anyway, that's the show, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and check out somethingplanet.com.
And
for our
make
other
sure you
show.
subscribe to Something Planet's Twitch page.
Yeah. And this will be on YouTube on Thursday. So if you didn't catch the full episode, check it out on YouTube, and check out all past episodes at youtube.com/somethingplanet
and on
somethingplanet.com.
Apple Podcasts and
Yeah.
Spotify and
All
everywhere
that
else.
stuff. Anywhere you can get an
And
audio
on
podcast.
flatearthsingles.com shortly when I post it on there on my profile.
Yeah. You should just make your profile picture a picture of you naked, like holding a globe in front of your junk.
Yes. We're going to do a deep dive. I'm going to do it. I'll do that, and then I'll report back. No, I'm just going to get a picture of like a map. Just like a flat map to show how devoted I am to getting to the bottom of this.
But you have to be erect, and then you're like, there's only one bulge in this map, in this Earth.
My burial mound needs some digging, baby.
All right. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please continue to come back every second Tuesday.
Tinfoil Tuesday.
Night.
# Tinfoil Tuesday.
Woo!
Thanks for everyone who stuck around.